All right. Hello, everybody. This is part two. Let me tell you, it's been a freaking day today. Got up at about 5 to do agar. And I'm doing this all in support of our grain bags, which we got a badass grow bag as well. But our grain bags, let me just specify again real quick. This is just grain only. And we don't really know what your mushroom needs are. So if you're trying to put down numbers or you're trying to have a lot more mushrooms, our grain bags are a good option for you, because those ones, they produce excellent as well. But we also do sell the grain bags in case you want to do some grains. If you look, this is very healthy, very good mycelium. And what I do is 4 or 5 days before I'm going to put it in a tub, I break it again. I break it when it's 25 or so percent ready to go, and then I break it again. And what I'm looking for is for this brick to be, look, it's a brick again. And that's because the mycelium is taking in all the nutrients, and it sucks all the moisture, it sucks everything out of this. And but anyway, this is a beautiful Trinity. It's a beautiful freaking mushroom too. But, and we will be offering this mushroom. But if you look on the, it's good. Everything is, our grain bags, we put them in the T3 unicorn bags. And just because we have better results with the grain bags in one of these. And so we do 3 and 5 pound grain bags. But let's get into it. So that's our grain, and let me just elaborate. I guess you guys seen some pictures on our last video where I had tub liners in there. And the reason for the tub liners wasn't necessarily because I was worried about side pins or mushrooms growing in a different way. It's just that I have everything dialed in to where I could put so many of those 17 quart tubs onto our racks. And it's really moisture. It's the moisture inside of them would come up, condense, and then come down. And what I liked about those ones was that it would condense down on the sides of the liners. So now that we're using a bigger tub, because we have grown out of everything, this is me and my wife's labor of love. And I'm just letting you know that we have grown out of just about everything. We've been doing this for so long. We're old. Anyway, what would happen was the moisture, I put more substrate and more mycelium and more everything inside of there. And the moisture would come up, and then it would condense, and it would come down on the sides. So I would go back and take a sterilized baser that I have and suck the water out the sides, and the mushrooms just really, really like that. But we have grown many, many mushrooms in these sterilite tubs. By the way, I saved all those 17 quart tubs. It's plastic. Plastic kills the fucking ocean. There's seahorses right now swimming around on a straw. So I saved them, and we sterilized them, and I put them into storage for the next time we feel like growing out of a 17 quart tub. Anyway, what we did on these monotubs right here, this is going to be the 20 quart. We came in about 4 inches from the side and 3 inches up. And what we want to do is put enough substrate in there that it's about level with these holes. Because, so mushrooms are more like us than anything. They take in oxygen and they give out carbon dioxide. So what we've done is when you kind of do the math about it in your head, so oxygen has carbon in it, which makes it way more. So straight oxygen and carbon dioxide, which is 2, is heavier. So what we've done is we've taken these tubs, and we switched. The only reason why we switched the tubs is because in promotion of our grain bags, our grow bags, I mean. So now that we have switched over to these tubs, we've adjusted our racks and we've done some different things, and we are going to do a bigger tub just so that I can put the grow bags in support of our grow bags, because really that's what our company's about. Is I had to change everything because you can't really seal. I was vacuum sealing a grow bag with just enough amount of spores to go in that grow bag, and I was vacuum sealing all that and just trying to send that out to everybody like a hit it and quit it type of deal. And then when we tried to get on a store shelf, they I guess the government, whatever, wants it to be kind of separate. So that's what we're doing. And what I would do with those other tubs, if I haven't elaborated yet, the black liners inside of them were just so the condensation went down under. And then I have a sterilized baster that I would use to pull the excess moisture out, because excess moisture always means, I mean, it's a breeding ground for contamination. You have to really be careful of contamination. It's the number one killer of everything. Like if we sent you a grow bag that was contaminated, or a syringe that was contaminated, it is worth absolutely zero, nothing. But we're not doing that. So here's this mushroom. We liked it so much we grew a bunch of it this time because it's this Trinity mushroom. It's almost too good to microdose. So here's a very healthy. This is one of our 3-pound grow bags, and as you can see, our Trinity's gone all the way through. And I just broke this up 5 days ago, and you can see it's gone back into a brick. It's because the Mycelium is very active. And what you really need to know in this point of the game is you need to be able to tell what's going on. And for me, your sense of smell is definitely a thing that you should key into on these mushrooms. You're going to smell something totally mushroom-like and totally natural. And if you don't, if you're worried about something, you have to teach yourself, even grow out a bag that has bacillus in it. And then when you see that your mycelium is dying and something else is dominating, take the bag and make sure you don't pull back in, because being clean is everything. And your mouth and your nose, you could brush, floss, do everything in your life, and you still breathe on a petri dish and it's going to grow bacteria. So just make sure, if you're trying to figure out what's going on with your mycelium, you can roll it up, and what you do is you put your nose to it, just like I'm doing now, and I'm forcing the air out. I'm not letting a vacuum happen. I'm not letting any air go back in. Even though this 0.2 micron filter should stop everything, be paranoid. Be clean. It's being clean and being on your game is what's going to make you have more mushrooms. Truly, they're a godly thing. And you know that godliness is what? It's next to cleanliness. And so when we press the air out of this filter and I bring it up to my nose, and all I smell is fucking mushroom. But if you smell something else that's not appeasing to your nose, or something that doesn't smell like a mushroom, then you've grown contamination in there. But our grow bags and our grain bags, this is one of our grain bags, and I mean, these are 2.5 weeks old, and it's been a day today, ladies and gentlemen. We got up this morning. It's me and my wife. This is our labor of love, and we appreciate each and every one of you guys for helping us legitimize ourselves here in Colorado and across the whole nation. If you guys order from us, we do so much work to make these spores and to make these things so good for you. And not only do we make it good for you, but the same thing that we're giving to you, we're over here growing pounds on pounds on pounds of mushrooms. And so what we're doing right here on this video and what we're doing is the same thing that we're sending out to you guys in the mail. Anyway, this is one of our grain bags, and this looks very good. I just broke this up 5 days ago. I mean, I just broke it. It feels really good. And it's Trinity. It's a very nice mushroom. And so, like I was telling you guys, now that it's fully colonized, I like to break things down into like an analogy that's kind of weird, but maybe kind of something that you can understand. And I can understand for myself. And what I look at these like is everything needs to be colonized inside there, because if you think about like a pig, the way that a pig feeds its young is what if it only has 8 nipples, but it has 9 pigs? Everybody gets in and they get a fucking nipple, right? And I look at every one of these grains in here like a fucking nipple. So if these grains are not finished, then it leaves the possibility that something else can jump inside of there and contaminate what we're doing just because it's not fully colonized. The whole grain doesn't have, it's not inoculated. It doesn't have mycelium growing around all of it. But now that this whole bag does have mycelium growing around it, it has an immunity, and it's strong, and it takes a while for it to get strong. Everything will kick your mushroom's ass. Right now it's a strong mushroom in there. And keeping clean is what keeps other things out of it. Because, I mean, when it comes down to it, when you're doing these tubs, you have to be careful. Everything over here is clean and sterile. But now that everything is clean and sterile, because trichoderma will take your mushrooms out of the game every time. It doesn't matter. And even if you let cobweb mold go, cobweb mold can be treated, but it's not ideal. You're not doing a good job. If you look in your tub and you have cobweb mold, you can treat it, but you need to go back and figure out where you got that stuff from. It's all a system of elimination. Anyway, here's a very nice inoculated bag of Trinity. Such a beautiful mushroom. Okay. And we're just out. I've cleaned everything. I have no airflow in the room. My hands have been sterilized and cleaned and gloved since I've been doing agar since this morning. And literally, this has turned into a job. But we're just trying to put out a good products for our customers. Ideally, if you've ever met us in Purposeful, you know that we shoot straight. And the shit that we're going right here, the reason for this channel is because we're going to show you the success we're having with the same shit that when you order from us, we're putting the same thing in a bag, we're putting it in the mail, and we're sending it to you anywhere in America. Anybody. So anyway, there we go. We're out here. Contamination is an issue. Very strong mycelium. Everything's clean. No airflow in the room. My hands, today I think we did 30 fucking tubs. And look at my hands. And I've done them with my bare hands but my fingernails. Now your fingernails, you have to think about everything. It's a magical thing. Mushrooms are magical. And there's a whole world of mycology that's not for your naked eye to ever see. And so my fingernails have been properly trimmed. And my hands have been alcohol down and glove down and alcohol down and everything for the whole day. And now that we know this mycelium right here has an immunity, that it's like feeding pigs, like every nipple is taken so some contamination can't jump in, it's blocked. So now here we are out in the open air. We'll just cut this thing open with our hands. It smells great. I can smell it already just from cutting it open. And we'll get our tub over here. This is a 20-quart tub. And on these ones, we just did, we used a 1-inch hole saw. We came up 3 inches up and 4 inches out. And also we have these holes at the top, which are as high as possible because you're trying to create a certain kind of airflow. And what you're trying to create is, okay, so the oxygen down here has carbon in it. They breathe in oxygen and and breathe out carbon dioxide. So we want the carbon dioxide to be exiting the tub. So carbon is, I mean, if you think about it in a chemical compound type of way, carbon has 2 carbon inside of 1 oxygen. So it's going to be heavier. So what we're trying to do is bring these holes to the top, right here, and right here, higher. Because why? Because all the carbon dioxide will be sitting down here at the bottom. And the way that we've kind of figured it out in our minds is that the oxygen is about twice, carbon dioxide is about twice as heavy as oxygen. So we bring these holes twice as big up, and so what happens? This weighs as much as this. So the oxygen comes down and forces the carbon dioxide out of these holes right here. So when you look at it, it should be oxygen coming in, carbon dioxide going out. And that's what you really need, because your mushrooms really do love oxygen. Clean, good oxygen is what will grow a mushroom. So let's get this bag right here. I'm just setting it over here. I know I've seen some comments about being sterile, and what I did was on our grow bags, what we did was, I'm just trying to show you that you can inoculate one of our grow bags. You can clean your kitchen, cut off the airflow, take the syringe, don't play around, get in there, inoculate the grow bag, and you don't have to be a person that has all the, you don't have to have a laminar flow hood, and you don't have to have all these different things. You can inoculate your bag, you can stick it in a dark place at about 80 degrees, and it's going to do fine. But here, this is Trinity, and we just dumped it in the bottom. And now I'm just going to break it up with my hands. And this is not a grow bag, this is a grain spawn bag. And it feels good. Just for being broke apart in the bag, what was it? It's been 4 or 5 days. And everything up here right now smells like a fucking mushroom just took a fart. Because mushroom. Right now all I do is smell mushrooms. And so I'm going to take some of our sterilized substrate. And I'm going to do like a 3-to-1. I kind of just eyeball them. So I have 1 part of our grain spawn, and I'm going to add 3 parts of our substrate to it. Okay, let's see where this gets us. And we want to mix it in there just really good. Really, really good. And we're not using a method on these tubs. We got a deeper tub because I'm growing these grow bags just in support of our grow bags, which we have a kick-ass fucking grow bag. Just letting you know. But now that I have these deeper tubs, we're cycling in some deeper tubs so that I don't have to tape them and do all the stuff that I have to do to them. Even though, like I said, those 17-quart tubs, we have grown a lot of mushrooms out of them. I can't even come to throw them away. My wife would probably love it if I did. I'm not going to fucking do it. Sorry. We're going to sterilize them and put them to the side and use them again. But we want to make sure that our grain spawn is just mixed very thoroughly. And this is kind of like a big deal. Some people, they put their stuff still in the dark for another 2 weeks and whatever. But me, I just go straight to fruiting conditions. Because if you think about it, this grain bag has not seen light. It has not seen oxygen. It has not really seen very much. It's like it just got paroled or something. So we're putting it into this dirt and we're giving it light. We're giving it another source of nutrients. And we're giving it a lot of things that will just encourage it to... I mean, the JMF, sometimes I throw mushrooms in 2 weeks. Or a couple different strains. We throw mushrooms pretty quick. But, okay, so now I'm sure that I don't have just pockets of mycelium sitting anywhere, which we do not. And so now I'm going to level this out a little bit. And then what we have right over here, and it wouldn't hurt to just sterilize this thing. Every tub, sterilize it. Spray it down with alcohol. We have just a trowel. And what I do with this is, I come in, because these monotubs, if you get the carbon dioxide to come out the holes and the oxygen to come into the top, it's not nothing for your first flush. You don't do nothing. It's going to be your first round of mushrooms or your first round of mushrooms. And you don't crack this thing open until they're done. And I'm not saying there's a wrong way or there's a right way, but we just put our stuff just straight into fruiting conditions. And then get over here on the sides. Sides are important. Like I said before, the trash bags in our other tubs were just because we had so much moisture that the mushrooms, because we weren't growing grow bags, but now that we're growing grow bags, we're going to put all this inside of we're going to fill our fruiting room inside. We're going to fill it with bigger tubs so I can throw the grow bags in there as well. And what we're going to do is take our trowel, and we're trying to get an even canopy of mushrooms coming off so we don't have to just even mess with this thing. You know how it is. I don't got time, you don't got time, nobody got time. So we're trying to get an even carpet of mushrooms for our first harvest. And so now there's not little divots all through the substrate so that pockets of water can't sit on top of your mushrooms, because they like water, they don't like to be wet. They like oxygen, but it's got to be clean. Okay, so now that we're all flattened out, what I do is I go back. Let me go wash my hands real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I washed my hands, so I just didn't want to get no kind of stuff on the outside of the tub. I'm going to tap the thing a little bit. And now we have, this is very compacted and it's good. And we just use paper tape on these holes. I'm telling you, we've been doing this for a long time. Paper tape is your best friend in the whole world. And so, like I was saying, the carbon dioxide weighs more. We're trying to force it out by giving it twice as much oxygen coming in through the top. And it should look like a kind of a very slow wind tunnel where oxygen comes in, carbon dioxide comes out. Oxygen comes in, carbon dioxide comes out. So, we've got this very flat, very good. And what we're going to do now is we're going to put a lid on this, and for the first time in this mushroom's life, we're going to show it light. We're going to give it some airflow, some free air exchange. We're going to close this up. We're going to put it in there, and it's going to be the first time that it's seen light, and it's going to be the first breath that it's taken in its life, and we're going to see what we can get out of this, and we will give you an update. Like I was saying before, me and my wife, we so appreciate you guys because we have legitimized ourselves with this company, with Rocky Mountain Sport Company. And if you order some grow bags or some grain bags from us, they will be the same grow bags and grain bags that we're sitting right here growing in front of you. So we appreciate you. It's been a long ass day. Take it easy.